in Abidjan, in the country of Cote d'Ivoire, in the western part of Africa. And I am honored to be visiting with two of the leaders of the Beit Israel community, Alex and Ishmael, who will introduce themselves a little more. My name is Marla Brettschneider. I'm a professor of political philosophy at the University of New Hampshire in the United States.
Okay. I am Cornet Alexandre of Cote. I am a leader. I'm a leader of Beit Israel community in Cote d'Ivoire. I'm an English teacher, and I'm 42 years old, and I'm married with 6 children.
Okay, I'm Ishmael, and I'm 32. I'm 32 years old, and I'm actually a commercial in a small enterprise, and no kids, no children.
So we've had other conversations with Kulanu about other aspects of interest to this community, and so now we're going to ask some different questions. One question that I have is, how do you understand the Jewish people and your growing relationship to the Jewish people?
Okay, as I said last time, for me, being a Jew is having to be sitting in the kitchen of a 5-star hotel and having to be fasting. For me, it's a responsibility to be a Jew in the world, because you are out these good things in the world, and you're not supposed to touch them, you're not supposed to eat them. But for me, it's a responsibility. I like the psychological aspect of Judaism, because in Judaism you have the Torah. The Torah is the record of mitzvot and a law to abide by. In case you trespass the law, in case you did not respect the law, you can still, you have a reference to know what's going wrong in your life. You can see, for example, that aspect of my life is going wrong because I did not observe Shabbat, for example, and you still have the possibility to do teshuvah. This is what I like in Judaism. I think teshuvah was the biggest gift of Judaism.
Okay.
And your understanding of the Jewish people?
For me, Jewish people, they have two things. One, Torah, and the second one, the responsibility. Torah, because they have a code of life. You can live according to different rules. To have a better life, every single people have an issue. But for a Jew, is to closer to God. And you have to act like this according to the Torah in any kind of situation. Responsibility, because you have to be a model for all humankind. You see that in many fields, science, agronomy, so and so, Jewish are one of the best. I think that is because the unique relationships with the Creator.
As you, this is a different kind of question about relationship to the Jewish people. As you continue on your journeys, which have already been many years, you'll continue many more years on a journey, as we all do. And what I think is starting to happen, a shifting point in your lives and the life of your community, is to start coming into contact with more Jewish communities around the world. And as we've talked about many times, as much as we respect and honor and want you to follow your hearts and the kind of community that you are going to build, as you know, many Jewish communities all over the world are very different from each other. And many people would have answered that question differently. They're not right or wrong, they're just different. So I wonder about how you are, as you are growing and moving into this next step of your communal life, how you're preparing yourselves and how you're preparing your community members for interaction with Jewish communities around the world who might be very, very different from you.
Okay, I know I have the answer to this question, because I have already experienced the answer to this question. You know, our community, Beit Israel, is a Kabbalistic and Hasidic, has a Kabbalistic and Hasidic approach. So we have a happy mood of singing songs. And one day I was invited to a community here in Cote d'Ivoire, And when I went there, the way they sung Le Rat Dodi wasn't that interesting at all. I'm saying, what's that? Is that what Judaism is? Why is it so different? And as years was just passing by, I had the answer, because I got to know that there's a diversity of Judaism, but one speech, like a Shamor, V'zaro, B'dibu Echad, one truth in the Torah, but diversity of expression of the way to be a Jew. So this is not a problem. We are already well prepared, and we're going to prepare our members because of the availability of so much material on the internet coming from a variety of sources. So internet is already the window that shows us the diversity.
And you can answer that too, Ishmael, but I also in part asked because others are not necessarily getting asked and having the opportunity that we are to talk about Jewish diversity. So sometimes when other people meet us, or even other people meet you, they might not know how to deal with how rich and vibrant but different your community is. So I'm asking, we need to prepare ourselves, but also because sometimes we'll come into contact with people who are not prepared for our difference or for the way that you're different from them. So I ask you out of care because that goes two ways.
Yeah, exactly. First, I know one type of Judaism because most of the time I practice the Judaism in the group. So after when I went to internet to see the harvesting, I was very, they seems to me very weird, But after learning some teaching from Ari Kadosh, that Israel went to the Galut to extract the tziyot, the spark of light. Okay, understood. And you know that you have several types of kitchen and cooking with the Jews. When you go to the Sepharad from Morocco, a Sepharad from Spain, it's Ashkenazim, but that's good everywhere. So I see now is a big picture. Each type can give to Jewish people something different, but they have the same core. The same core is the Torah, the Ahava, the love for the Jew and for all human. And I think is the main point. The love for all human.
Great. And on that, you may not have an answer, it's fine, but when you say you've tasted all these different cookings from around the world and we were sent into the diaspora, that's a beautiful understanding of what happens in the diaspora. Then we grow our Jewishness in many ways, and that's a beautiful thing. So are you sensing anything that's particularly that you get to bring to your Jewish community from being from Abidjan or Cote d'Ivoire or Western Africa, or that you're seeing developing, that you're part of a large phenomenon in Africa of communities like yours? So I can talk about what I find interesting and adding from my community, but do you sense yet what are some of the wonderful cooking that you get to add and bring to the diaspora, that you brought from the diaspora to Jewish life?
Yeah, I have an idea about it because they have to prepare a fish. I don't know the
Recipe.
The recipe. No, not the recipe, but the name of this fish in English.
Okay.
In French is mackerel. Mackerel. Okay, you have a manner to prepare it, to cook it. It's very, very tasty. Yeah, and because it's quick to cook, it's very tasty. Last time you ate it at Pesach. The name is Akbeshi.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's very good, and I think that you can develop other things to specify our approach to Judaism.
Right, and of course I don't mean cooking only, really cooking,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
cooking as a metaphor for
Yeah.
what you bring from your community, because the world around you is different from the world around where I live.
Exactly.
And as you said, I love that interpretation. It's all beautiful. If you want to think there's a meaning of being sent into diaspora, it's It's what are all the ways we can become Jewish and grow as Jews from all over the world.
Okay. Can I add a word?
Please.
Okay, may I? Not can I? I can say that I used to think that, and I still think that Torah cannot be taught to two people the same way. Because I think that a teacher may have many students, but the student should bring in his originality. For example, in Africa, we're not supposed to be eating hummus like in Israel.
Yeah, or terina.
Yeah, or trina. There are lots of interesting African and Ivorian meals, which we can respect. We can respect the kashrut law in Cote d'Ivoire because there's a variety of food stuff. We have rice, we have a variety of fish and different kinds. So we can just bring these new spices to the diaspora.
A new tune for the song.
Yes, yes.
And maybe sometimes you'll be developing your own songs and your own prayers
Think about it.
and your own writings.
Yeah, exactly. No writing, wow.
No, writing is possible.
Yeah, it's possible in Hebrew. It's possible.
Not in
It doesn't have to be. We've also, with the Tower of Babel, we speak all different languages.
Okay, yeah.
So who knows what you might contribute in terms of your interpretations as students, and new songs and new prayers and new psalms and new teachings and new writings.
Okay.
Another question. So we've talked about, and it's a little bit personal. We've talked about for Alex, there have been many upheavals politically in Cote d'Ivoire, and things get very dichotomized. And sometimes people are put in the position that they have to align themselves in positions in times of political turmoil, and then you have to agree with one thing and you have to agree with another. And we were talking about Israel and how everything in Israel appears to be so politicized. And I know that here in Abidjan, which I respect, Alex has tried to make choices where he didn't have to be put into any particular political perspective. And I'm just wondering, as they've already been to Israel and had wonderful experiences, and the more that time that you spend in Israel, you're going to find, whether you like it or not, that people are going to be putting you in boxes, and that your experience will be used by others. Even if you're there for purely wonderful religious or spiritual reasons, other people may be using you for their political purposes. And how do you don't have, again, you won't have all the answers, and your answers will change over time, but it's already a fact. And so I just wanted to hear you talk at this point in 2014, how do we even cope with that? Because that's often the way things are in Israel.
Okay, I know being a Jew is not that easy. Being a Jew is a lifetime struggle. You can see in the Bible, Jacob struggled with the angel. So this is how I understand being a Jew. When you are a Jew, you fight all your life long. Political issues are just an aspect. So we really, because we've traveled some miles on the way, and we've been facing obstacles. So we prepared. We might not have the answers yet, but we prepared. Anyway, what matters most for us is the respect of the Torah. This is what important for us, respecting the Torah. And in the Chassidut, we've been taught that nature is the clothing of Hashem. Nature, Teva, is the clothing of Hashem, and the earth, is the dwelling place of Hashem. And it is our duty to enable Hashem to come down on the earth to be the king, like it is said in Hebrew, the Melech Haolam. So we're going to be part of all policies that enable Hashem to be Melech Haolam.
Israel?
Yes, politics in Israel, maybe you have to stay 10 years to understand a bit. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. But the thing I know, like Alex, we have the main purpose in the prayer of the Mincha Shabbat. Ata Echad, Shmo Echad, V'Goy Echad Ba'achetz. one God, one name, one people in the earth. What particular earth? Israel. So you have to be united. Whatever can happen, and as Jew, I hope to Jew, you have to struggle with the others. You know, every morning when you pray, you take the responsibility to love each man, and particularly each man a woman from Israel. So whatever the difference, the talking, the arguing, you plan to be one in the purpose that, like Alex said, the sovereignty on Hashem on earth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We stopped it because it was 15 minutes.